Ashe. Okay. I feel that already. Okay. Let's get down. Okay. So we on the mic. All right, what we're going to deal with. Like I said, that first of all, I got these new rituals for those who want to purchase them. You know, this is going for the welfare fund also, too. This is the master ritual. It says to light a candle and open the formula of the pentagram. If you don't know what the pentagram is, if you decide to get this ritual, on the back you will see this particular 7-pointed star. That's the pentagram, and they'll say the circle. Just imagine a circle. Also, it's equipped with a Kabbalah with all the different paths on it. Different paths on it also, too. And it tells you different things. Opening to reveal a cup of plenty, and it tells you different things that you need to do. A lot of the things, if you don't want to try to imagine, they'll tell you to imagine. And so basically, you can bypass a lot of this stuff because you have melanin. You just imagine what they tell you to imagine, and say what they tell you to say. And a lot of the other stuff you don't necessarily have to go through. You see what I'm saying? These rituals will work anyway because you have melanin and all. And so basically what you're supposed to do with this and the one I gave you yesterday is if you recite them over and over again until they work into your subconscious. Work into your subconscious and all. So I have these here for the people who want to purchase towards the welfare fund. You know, they're $2 and all, and it's 2 pages and all. So just let me know if you want some. If you want some and all. So whatever the deal is, you know. Going for a word of cause, going for my light bill that they're gonna cut off damn near Wednesday, so you can pass them around. Okay. Mm-hmm. Oops, damn! Get that out of here. Boom, and you pass one around to the people who want it, you know, and stuff, you know. Okay. Yeah. You need $1 back? Okay. Okay, that's cool. All right. So anybody else want one, they'll be over here on the table and all. But it's good to have these particular things because let's say if you had some problems, you can use these same rituals for your problems also too. So you know, just to conjure up energy. When anytime they're saying opening up a circle in the pentagram, hexagram, circle, anytime that's nothing but melanin, the black dot. The black dot is seen as the pentagram, the hexagram, the Star of David. All of that is talking about, they got 400 rituals talking about these different symbols, and all those symbols equate to melanin. You see, equate to melanin and all. So, you know, all those equate to melanin. So there's no such thing as it not being a melanin ritual. And all. So, how many? You know, there's no such thing as 2 or 3. You got 2 or 3, yeah. There's no such thing as it not being a melanin ritual. Those particular, what you need? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute, hold up. I gave you. Oh, you 3. Hell, I'm giving you the 5 back. Plus, how much is that? 3 or 4? Oh, hell. I'm giving a change plus the damn 5. You want the one from yesterday? The one from yesterday is 2, so boom, do that. Hold on 1 minute. For those ones, remember, I still have that particular melanin one. Also, you use these things without this one. This one, I would say, if you ask what was this one for, I would say that this one would be for protection as well as energy. Because when you do this and stuff, basically, you're conjuring up your own energy. So it's not no spook thing like you're trying to invoke some certain ones. You're conjuring up your own energy. One is for, you know, and so when you do these and all, remember this is inner working, and you can take these same kind of rituals, conjure up the energy, and do what you will based on you have the energy base. So it's basically just igniting the battery. And the battery, you know, is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons, carbon. And if you break open any battery, you will see the battery is carbon based. It's carbon based. So this is what these rituals are for and all. You know, for protection. You'll be able to use these also for that particular thing too, as well as your energy, as well as healing. Let's say that the one that I say here called the master ritual, let's say if you wanted to heal yourself. If you went through that particular ritual, you can direct the type of energy that you conjure up to what part of the body that you needed healing. So in actuality, the ritual is only inducing the latent powers that's in your body that can heal anything anyway, including AIDS. You see what I'm saying? So basically, this is just a exercise to get those certain energies to working, as well as the one to controlling the shadow, which that one and all is dealing with more of a psychological thing. Let's say if you wanted to a psychological thing. Let's say if you wanted to actually meet your higher self or something like that. There's a good book out called you got your MAAT Magick book here? Yeah. Yeah, because there's a woman in the front. You need to go get it because there's a woman in the front got a book called Visual Magic.
Oh, okay.
And and when you get it, I'll show you the one and all. You might want to order that book, Visual Magic. But the people that want scientific information on melanin, as far as melanin dealing with psychic phenomenon, there's a great book out. There's a great book out on the scientific ramification, but it's a very technical book. So it's one of those books that, it's technical, but then again, it's a great study and all, and it's called very technical. And the name of this book is called Shadow Matter and the Psychic Phenomenon, a scientific investigation into psychic phenomenon and possible life after death. Shadow matter. Anytime you see shadow like that, shadow matter is melanin. So they're going to say everything but melanin. So the book is called Shadow Matter and Psychic Phenomenon, the scientific investigations into the psychic phenomenon and possible life after death by Jared D. Wasserman, Wassermann, PhD. The woman named that wrote Visual Magic, the woman who wrote Visual Magic is called Jan Fries. Let's see, I think I also found it in here. Her name is Jan, Janfries. But it's called ES', Jan Fries, Visual Magic, a manual of freestyle shamanism, sigilalism, because I told you there was a book, Practical Sigil Magic, that went out of print. But this one has sigilalism, subtle, and all of those inspired by figures such as Austin Spear, Aleister Crowley, and imperative to develop one own unique magical way. So what it is, this particular book is just it's going to give you every aspect on how you visualize things, how you go inside and work. Because some people say, well, when I meditate, I need something to do. I need something to think about when I have my eyes closed. Well, this particular book is a good little book to help you on visual magic, which is this Nema's counterpart, because she recognizes her in the front of the book. And this particular book is a very excellent book, MAAT Magick also too, Guide for Self-Initiation. Well, the second book is Visual Magic. Visual Magic by and they show the different, and you visualize different people in the fairy kingdom and different things like that, because they have a fairy kingdom. They have little small people that live in the trees in Africa. You see what I'm saying? Just like live in the trees in Africa. And so visual magic, when you can visualize, because some people, I think a lot of people now are saying, well, I have a lack of vision. If I can visualize it, so if you learn how to visualize things, like they tell you, you can, until you learn to see yourself a certain way and see yourself having a certain thing, you see what I'm saying? And that's the reason why white people are able to gain more success in their life, is because, first of all, the white man is not born with an inferiority complex because he sees his images all over TV. So it's healthy for him. So therefore, and they have open minds for the simple fact that they have open minds for the simple fact for their children. Their people take them hunting, camping, this particular place, so they see the world at a certain age. So if you have these things that's not impairing you to, for your vision, then therefore if you think of a damn multi-billion-dollar business, you get a multi-billion-dollar business. You see what I'm saying? And until you see yourself, and it's just the same thing when it came to losing weight. Until you see yourself skinny, you can't lose no weight. And that's one of the main things even in the 12-step programs. You have to see yourself. And also they say, go to the Essence magazine, Pick out the finest woman you want, paste her on the goddamn refrigerator, paste her on the kitchen, on the bathroom sink, paste her on the bedroom sink, and visualize yourself. And one of the actual programs in doing that in visualizing yourself, hell, take a picture, cut your face out, and put on the fine ass body you want. And your psyche and your subconscious, once you work it into your subconscious and stuff, you can lose that type of weight. Most people, if you know, that gain a lot of weight, have low self-esteem. You see what I'm saying? And all, as far as being obese. Some people are obese for the simple fact, you know, and they've had people that grew up petite. And then somehow they lost their way based on a relationship, and they lost their will based on a man, and they gained all this weight. There's cases, like I said before, with women gaining weight because they didn't want to attract attention to them because the simple fact they was hurt about a man they lost, and they say, well, I give up on niggas. But they kind of look kind of good, and they know if they go out in the street, so a nigga will crack on your behind if, you know, he like your booty and all that. So what they do is, to avoid the black man pulling up on the sister, they gain a whole lot of weight to get themselves out of the doggone playing field of dating and stuff. So it's the same way you can reverse that type of thing by your visual image and all and stuff. So the book James Fry's Visual Magic is the first book, which is another book that comes from England. It's coming from Mandrake, Oxford, P.O. Box 250, Oxford. But the name of the actual book company that puts out Visual Magic is called, if you want to get it, Golden Dawn Publications, P.O. Box 250, Oxford, OX1, 1AP, Britain, OX1 and 1AP, Britain. And they have Visual Magic out, which is supposed to be a very good book. It's the same people that also put out Shadow Matter and the Psychic Phenomenon. Shadow Matter and the Psychic Phenomenon. So now if you're having problems getting metaphysical books, I suggest that you form an alliance. Take, for instance, you can say like Sister Delilah. You go down and you go to New Leaf Book Distributor is the biggest metaphysical book company in the country. New Leaf Books distributing in Atlanta, Georgia. That's why I have no problem. I got 9 metaphysical bookstores to go to. Then you, in competition, Barnes and Nobles and all them have to have a big stock because the actual metaphysical book company, the place that the distributor is in Atlanta, and they started out in a room about as big as this house, and now they got a place. It's a warehouse that is big as a doggone football field, full of metaphysical books. So I'm gonna say that you can take one person like you and the Sisters of Sekhmet can say, well, you know, we want to order books because you have to be a company. In a company, just establishing yourself as a company, and the whole thing is you just have to agree to buy $50 worth of books at a time. But that ain't nothing but 2 or 3 books. So therefore, you get the books on wholesale, but the catalog is tremendous. Is the amount of things also too tremendous, and so all you got to do is, instead of calling the bookstore, somebody just call Delilah up and say, hey, get me this book. You see what I'm saying? You got to come, you get me this book, and they give you and get me the book, and all, and they can bring you the money by, and you can order the book wholesale, and to make a buck or two out of it, you know, it's a labor of love. You know what I'm saying? You know, they still will be paying 3 times less than what they pay in the store. You see what I'm saying? In the store and all. So these particular books are also available at New Leaf Book Distributing. James Fry's Visual Magic, as well as Shadow Matter and the Psychic Phenomenon. Now I'll have to call you and give it to you and all, and you got to send off for a catalog and all. You know, send off for a catalog and all. And this is a very good book. I say also to get. Here's another good book called Flying Saucers by Francis Barrett. Flying Saucers, Francis Barrett, and by Francis King, includes Barrett's publication manuscript on the crystal vision. So what we know is we understand that you have to take all information with a grain of salt, because you know the white boy is going to tell the truth, but then again he's going to add his own truth. But basically your spirit can tell you what's right or wrong, for the simple fact that most people have an Afrocentric training and understand that everything came out of Africa, which is your key. So when they start talking about all this stuff about Britain and the Anglo-Saxon and China and all that shit, you know that that's bull jive, because you know that everything came from black. There's no original thought on the planet other than yours. That's the key. No original, and that's what we're going to prove today also when we get into this particular stuff. And basically everything that is going on here has been left. Everything that has been going on here has been left behind by the Moors. Left behind by the Moors. Like I said before, and it's hello. We just starting, so you good to go. You want to turn that TV around so they can see or whatever, if they want to. Like I said before, like I said before, your light bill is not a police company. Your phone bill is a police company. Water bill, and any type of thing that you got to go pay a bill, your bills is not a police. It is very important that the government has to keep track on you now, because they know that they're losing this fight, and the end is near for them. Like I said before, I must say that one of the greatest books that's been printed in the 1990s is the book of Maat. This particular book on Maat. This is an awesome book because it deals with the creative visualization, and I love what the sister did because she painted everything black in here. But this book here is an unbelievable book. It has rituals and every other thing in here, but this is a great book, and if you notice, it's not that complicated. It's real simple, and it's one of the best books. This is one of the best books. MAAT Magick by Nema, which is back with Amen. Nema is a group of Nema is a form is a part of the the Cincinnati Black Lodge or something like that, of Cincinnati. Anyway, so she's affiliated with a Crawley group. Because there's a lot of bull jive out there, and you got to get the stuff that is affiliated with they go in. Try to stay on most Egyptian themes and themes that are basically related to ancient history. Good books on Sufism, the way of the Sufi. Another good book to understand, a good book is People of the Secret. Very excellent book, People of the Secret, Ernest Scott. He's going to give out a lot of books today. People of the Secret, Ernest Scott. Well, you can get it in Atlanta. People of the Secret, Ernest Scott. It's an advanced and a very scholarly book. And this is, you want to get a book that's very scholarly. Why? Because you can use it as an encyclopedia. You could always go back to it and find a certain amount of things also too. Another that book, Isis by D. Tracy Regulia, Isis, Her Worship and Magic. The Isis Mistress, Her Worship and Magic. And finally, after so many years, after writing on Osiris and different things, somebody finally put out a book on Isis. There was another historical book called Isis in the Greco-Roman World, which you probably have to go to a library and copy, which is out of print. But the one that they finally put out with all the rituals and stuff, and we need to. I can't stress the importance of listen. These things are now starting to disappear. Now, the guy down in Atlanta, Georgia, the guy that runs Avalon Bookstore, has already said that, look, that in about a year or so, or maybe the first of the year, a lot of these books are going to have to start going out of business because of the internet, because they're downloading all this stuff on the internet because it's for free. So now they can download the stuff on the internet, and you can say, well, I can get it for free, but remember, websites close down because it costs money to keep them on. So if they download some stuff on the internet and the book is taken off the market because it's not selling, and that website closed down, that means that you're not going to be able to get this book. And by us being the elect at this time, because our people ain't going to do it, we the fuck going to do it. And that means you got to have ammunition. And that's what even what's his name used to talk about the ammunition? Leonard Jeffries. We shooting from the lip and not the hip. Because they say what? If you read the book of Revelation, they say that Christ who is to come, who is in all of us, he's going to come with the word of God from his mouth like a double-edged sword. That means that when you speak it, and the energy going to get so bad in a few until you can speak stuff. And if a person don't have the right melanin, they'll drop dead. So in order to speak it, you got to start. So you shooting lip from the lip and not the hip. So therefore, you can't be cheap when it comes to buying the books. You can buy them damn concert tickets. You can buy this. You can anything that you want. You can find time to buy it and all. But when it comes to buying a book, the nigga act like they buying a damn house. You see what I'm saying? Buy the books. And so you got to realize this part about it. At one time, they didn't have, see, things that go down in history of spiritual. One time, it was against the law for us to read. Now, we got tons of black people who can't read. And then you got some that can't read, that can read, but they can't understand. So the least you can do for them, you see what I'm saying, is to try to get this particular stuff and understand. So I can say, well, you buying all these books, you buying all these books. Look, this is the deal. If you don't like reading, the key is to buy as many books as you can to build a library, and the more books you have, the less you have to read. Because it becomes a library, and you can just go into your library and pick out what you want to study, a page or two or a paragraph. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have to hit the whole books, but when you got one or two books, you got to read the whole thing, because that's all you got to rely on. So some people say, why you buy all them books? I say, because I'm not going to read all the doggone books. I'd go blind and go crazy. But the key is to have a sufficient library where you don't have to read a lot. If you got a library and stuff that's got a comprehensive library, you just go and say, well, I want to look up this type thing. Well, you just go here. You see what I'm saying? And we got to stop being scared. Books on witchcraft is nothing but leftover stuff from Isis worship that was in Europe. You see them? That was in Europe. You see what I'm saying? And they say they killed damn near 12 million of them people over there worshiping with the witchcraft and all this type of stuff. 12 million people died in the Inquisition and the Holy Inquisition of the Holy Pope of Rome. You see, Book of Shadows. And there's another book I put out by Samuel Weiser. It's called The Trial of a Salem Witch. And on the book, they got a black woman up there. And they say that a lot of the killings started in Salem, in Massachusetts and stuff, based on a doggone slave girl. You see what I'm saying? Based on a slave girl. And there's a book out called The Trial of a Salem Witch, and they got a sister sitting up there. You see what I'm saying? So I'm saying, and all in witch comes from Wicca, which means wise one. It comes from the word witch, comes from the word vitch, which is a Sumerian word. It comes from the Egyptian word bitch, which means dog star. Priestess of the dog star. Priestess of Isis. Priestess of Isis. You see what I'm saying? So we need to take advantage of these type of things, because ain't nobody coming for you. You are coming to yourself. And in order to come to yourself, you got to have a knowledge and understanding. You can worship, pray, all the hell you want him, but until you realize you God, you understand what I'm saying? And you got to realize, it's not no damn brothers and sisters over here in the projects depending on you. The whole entire black race is depending on us. That's an awesome responsibility, but it don't take, hell, even the Bible tells you it don't take but one man. Well, the whole entire race is depending on us to get this divine spark. They talk about the remnant, which is the 144,000 is a symbolic number. It's less than 144,000. Hell, it's less than 20,000. It's less than 10,000. It's less than 5,000 on who really know what time it is. It's less than 1% of the conscious on the planet. So therefore, if you are here at this dispensation time when all hell is going down, that means of how important you are. And so what it is we have to stress the belief in self. That's why I say the never-ending story is a very good story to understand the belief in self. You see what I'm saying? Not I just want to do God's will. Well, what the fuck is that? God's will is your damn will. They say man is the highest expression of God. Man is the highest expression of God. So they say God is a cosmic energy, but it expresses itself through you. You are the expression. There's gasoline, but you are the doggone vehicle. You see what I'm saying? So you got to turn this thing around and all, because we've been worshiping outside of ourselves too long. You see what I'm saying? Just as the Bible says, you see, the Bible says, greater works I have done, greater works you shall do. Even greater works you shall do. You're going to do greater works. And so even if we just take the Bible thing, even like Farrakhan said, even if we take of a Jesus Christ coming 2,000 years ago. Whatever the case, whether it's mythical or whatever, it was only a sign or just an inkling or a fragment of what is going to come in the end. He was only a sign if you believe in that, but even if you believe in the movement, he was only a sign of that which is to come later on. You see what I'm saying? And that's the key. We got to start doing this because ain't nobody coming but us. And they say, well, when the people, they say, well, Christ comes, and everybody's waiting on Christ. But when Christ first comes, he has to redeem himself. And once he finds himself, then he can find others. So until we find ourselves, you saying, I'm tired of this shit. Well, don't be tired of this shit looking for no spirit to come down. The spirit has to come through you. You divine spark. And that's what the deal is. Check. Yeah. All right. The reason why the world must end is because black people still forgive white people over and over. This is why the white man is assured to kill more and more people because they know that we are crazy and we will forgive them over and over. So they know that give a week or two, the niggas gonna forget about it. You see what I'm saying? So not only do you have to understand that you can't forgive these people at all, this has got to be a part of your moral fiber. Some people say, well, let's get past white people. No. If you look at any religious scripture, you have to overcome the dragon, the beast, the enemy, or whatever. That's any religious scripture. You have never seen any portrayal of the Christ saying, no, I'm just going to forget the powers that be. You see what I'm saying? The role of Christ is he's supposed to challenge evil. In Gene Houston's book, The Passions of Isis and Osiris, in the part on the War on Heaven, they said, that, which is an excellent book. It's a thick hardback book. And see, this book, he gets into the love story of Osiris between Isis. You see what I'm saying? So for you sisters, for the mere that fact, if you're going to read some goddamn Terry McMillan, read the original love story of Isis and Osiris on what this woman had to go through just to lift this motherfucker up after he got slayed. And basically that's what's going on. And basically it's a storytelling on what's going on with the damn black woman now. She got to carry the burden and all for that nigga out there with that damn Colt 45 in his damn hand. So the story is metaphysical, but you can't read the story as a historical story. You got to read the story. Now, so they say the passion of Isis and Osiris. You see what I'm saying? And in the book, when they go into War in Heaven, they say Horus, Heru, which is the Christ, which is you, is the only one got the guts to challenge Adal Labra, or Set in that particular form, the second Set. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, when you read it, you think, oh yeah, oh man, she sure did love this man here and all this man laying out and stuff, and she had to breathe life back in him. This shit ain't about no man 2,000 years ago. This thing is happening from the black person after slavery, from the black woman after slavery, where she had to be the burden of every damn thing because the nigga couldn't even get no job. You see what I'm saying? Hell, he had to couldn't even look the white man in the eye. So that is chopping off a penis and castrating somebody mentally. You see what I'm saying? So the sister got to take care of the burden and all this kind of thing here and all. And so the story is not talking about... See, we'll say, well, damn, why a black woman got to go through all this shit? Or even the black man in this case, but you would have a better understanding on why you have to go through this stuff if you understood that the story that they're talking about of the eternal widow ain't getting no man sexually frustrated and all that kind of thing is Isis and Osiris. That's talking about you. You see what I'm saying? That's talking about you. So now we forgive these people over and over again, and then so even when we get even in the high intellectual thing, and we think somehow somebody has taught us that to be more spiritual means that you don't supposed to focus on the enemy. I don't know no spiritual figure that ever been on no papyrus, book, or anything that didn't challenge the damn enemy or went up against the damn dragon. We're not talking about 1930. We're talking about the apocalypse. And in the apocalypse, it's time to kick ass. Now, she gave the... so what's happening is that you got to realize this. And part of kicking ass is mentally arming yourself. Not talking about how you can go out and get some guns. It's talking about mentally. So it means on your job, you got to be on guard. You see what I'm saying? You got to be on guard. Because not only that, they got doggone defectors in our race coming to their side and stuff. So you got to be on guard all ever so more. And so when the sister did a channel last night and stuff, when we was able to open up a sister, and the sister is smoking and channeling like channeling like the sister Ty Seeley and the other ones I told you about, Shakura. She's every bit as good, and she's a sister. But she was channeling all. They said, well, listen. They said, I said, in the book of law, what is the actual part of the book of law? It's the key that I need. And she said, verse 6, chapter 3. Now, verse 6, chapter 3, for those people who know what the book of law is, verse 6, chapter 3, and the book of law is printed in verse 6, chapter 3, it states, get this right, it states, let me get this, verse 6, chapter 3, dung it says, first of all, on verse 4, it says, choose an island, fortify it. The island is your body. Fortify it. Well, hell, it's fortified with the melanin. It means, you know, fortify it. Talking about vitamins, and fortifying means coming together, all the energy. Fortify it. Dung it about with the energy of war. So you got the energy. So what is the energy supposed to be about? Nation building or war? No, it tells you to dung it with the energy of war. I will give you a war engine. What is the war engine? That's your body. So you got to understand, if you got to understand there's peacetime and wartime. And now if we talk about if we this far into the apocalypse, and obviously you see the crackers winning this shit, killing us daily. If we this far in, then it means you got to realize you can't act in peacetime as we come to wartime. There's different cycles in what you're supposed to do. So to say, you know, well, let's forget about white people, you shirking your damn duties. It's time to go to war, and a lot of that war is mentally. Spiritually, your essence, if you bring your essence to a certain level, they're telling you in here to do these things, fortify your body, and they say dung it about with the energy of the war. That means you start thinking on the warrior level. That means spiritually, you don't have to pick up no gun. So if you do this stuff and get your body up to the warrior part that you're supposed to be doing at this particular time, then basically you can kill them off just on your aura and your essence on what you're about. It's no different. It's the same thing about and I don't know if it's lost from the black woman, but I know when I was growing up and all, my mama didn't have to damn get a stick every damn time. I was cutting up out there. All she got to do is give me a step. I said, oh, shit. Just give me a look. You know the damn look. That's worse than a damn beat. Because you say, well, I don't know whether she's going to beat my ass now or when I get back home she's going to beat me. In anticipation of an ass whipping is worse than the ass whipping itself. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You see. Yeah. Right. So that's what I'm trying to say. So when this thing is talking about here, when you're saying, well, when we supposed to do this, it's talking about your mental essence on getting your body right based on the way you feel about certain things. You see what I'm saying? So this is what it's talking about. It's talking about a mental essence. You got to understand, it's been wartime. It's been wartime. Well, the cracker came on TV and told you 10 years ago he put crack in your damn community. So it's been wartime. Hell, we 10 years behind time. Still talking about, can we get along and let's vote? So, you know, I think we would also get a mental, I think we would also be a stable, even if we just had a campaign to just stringing up these damn Negro leaders that sold us out. And just seeing some of them die for a change. And just like they say, these people can come on and represent us and will buck dance in our face and talk shit about us on national TV because they realize there ain't no repercussions coming behind them. But if they was in the Arab community, their ass would be dead. You see, their ass would be dead. And I'm not talking about no Saudi Arabia. I'm talking about there in damn Palestine. You see what I'm saying? Where they got ongoing war going on. Like I said, I had a friend that was from doggone Palestine. He was from Israel. The Gaza Strip or whatever that was. And he said, if we even see our woman with a doggone Israeli, we cut both of them up. People say, oh man, you just sick and all. But I say, no, this man here, these people done came in and took over their land, although that original land ain't theirs either. But still, they got more claim to it than them, because hell, they close to the black than what you call it. Because some of them people in their race go all the way down to blue-black when you look at it and stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, especially no white Arab from Europe, we don't know where that, no white Jew from Europe. So they say, you know, hell, we don't play that. You just don't do that. You see, it ain't no stuff like that. And the doggone Israelis don't go for that shit either. You see, same thing. So, you see what I'm saying? No mixing of the nation. We should never mix. I see in the Gnostic scriptures told you yesterday, when Thomas asked Jesus, should we be with our own? And he says, indeed. You see. So there's certain energy fields that certainly, so some people are saying, you know, well, I'm like there was a brother came to one of my lectures and say, I'm a police officer. And I said, what? He said, but I'm cool. And basically in his mind, he probably was, but he don't realize there's certain energy fields. And if you are in that particular energy field, and that thing is constantly locking up black people, the negative energy field, it's just as bad as damn being that cracker cop. So there's certain energy fields and stuff. You see what I'm saying? So now it gets to the point where some people say, well, you know, I'm getting this particular consciousness, but I think I still go to church. Now you know the church is a ward of the state of the government, and you know there's a negative energy field. That church is run by a dollar bra, and so by going to them doggone churches and stuff, it's just the same as the church. You talking about the same tradition that went around the world and colonized the world, talking about bringing down Jesus to the savage. It's the same. So you got energy fields that you don't supposed to be in. And another thing too, the reason why a lot of our people get walked in from these walk-ins, because we concluded that that's a dollar bra church, organized religion is basically what it's talking about. And so when you go in there and you clap it and open yourself up, the archons can come in and walk into you. So when we say, well, why is there a lot of sisters being walked in? Because there's more sisters in the church. And so they literally go and open their vessels up to this particular archon that sits over fundamental religion. You see what I'm saying? That sits over fundamental religion. So when they come out of there, it's like a walking zombie. And that's one of the doggone fields. You can see it. That's one of the fields. And that's one of the places. So that's how they snatching our doggone sisters and stuff, for the simple fact. And not only that, some of the brothers. You see what I'm saying? But they snatching them for the simple fact, when you go in that church and you, because all it is a ceremony, is a damn ritual. And when you do it, you open up anyway, because you melanated people. So the archons come in and say, well, if we can't get the masses, we damn sure can get a church on every corner, which is the fucking masses, basically. See what I'm saying? So this is how they do this. So there's certain energy fields. And the energy fields, these particular energy fields that we're talking about here, is crucial that you don't overstep your boundaries. So it's like I said, when you learn a certain amount of knowledge and stuff, ain't no sense of saying, well, you know, I'm going to still go back here for the social element. What the hell you need social element? You goddamn knowledge. You got to step off and stuff. So the thing about it is, when they're saying your sincerity is your credentials, it literally means that based on your well-being. Based on your well-being and stuff. So basically, I haven't put my foot back in the church since I got into this particular consciousness. Last time I went to a church, I went to 2 funerals. You know what I'm saying? And the only time I go to a doggone church. Well, other than that, no. Somebody said, come on and go to church with me. Well, no, I don't give a damn how good a friend you are. I don't give a damn you my girlfriend, mama, none of that stuff and stuff. We got other kind of things that we can doggone have a solidarity as the meetings of between 2 families and going up in that damn church. So if the people say, no, well, I don't need that kind of person in my life anyway, they don't understand. A fool is a fool, both good and bad. They're one and the same. That's what the whatchamacallit says. So basically, this is what we're talking about. The energy fields. The energy fields is there's energy fields going on. So if we talk about melanin, and there is no such thing as a physical body, it's an illusion. So all melanin is one. So for all the white people in the world is hating O.J., despite whether he did it or not, don't make a difference. All the white people is hating O.J. Simpson, and just like them hating you. And so therefore they're being chastised because we're talking about hating energy. So they hate the particular energy. And the reason why they hate him so much is because he's black. I can say Timothy McVeigh and them blew up a damn building. And even though We know they didn't do it. The masses of America don't know that because they follow the TV. They don't hate this man, and he killed 140-something people, supposedly. We know he didn't do it, but still yet, they don't know that. But they hate O.J. Simpson. You see what I'm saying? And the key is basically, like we said, Cato Kalin was in on it, and also I had figured out, and I figured out that last year, but we got verification on it last night also too, that they cloned another O.J., and the clone was in on killing O.J. too. So the reason why them white people were so, them police officers were so hurt the day that the verdict came down, and all them police officers, LAPD, was back there crying because they knew what went down because they planned it and they had the clone out there with us. So we talk about a highly advanced government. Well, wait a minute, that's kind of some hocus pocus stuff. If this is the damn end days, and even the Bible tells you that you won't even know the world, it's going to be things, they say that the knowledge will increase, and there are going to be things that's going to be so horrific. So therefore, cloning and every other thing is a doggone, if this is the end time, then cloning and everything else is a reality, like cryonics, freezing people. Well, I knew that because my aunt, my Aunt Mabel, that died at 90, when she was working for white people back in the 20s and 30s, she said she was raising these kids, and the two little white boys had turtles, and the turtles at night, the turtles used to freeze up, rock solid, hard. They'd leave them outside. And that day, about 4 o'clock, they would unthaw and they start back moving. So if they can do that, you know a human can do it. So this stuff is a reality. If she said this observation, just by saying that when these little white kids she used to keep back in the damn 30s, they had these turtles, and the turtles used to freeze up like glass, and then about 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, they would unthaw. And they would do this year after year. So the whole winter season, they would freeze up at nighttime. You see what I'm saying? So cryonics is a reality. Is a reality. So now, shoot, cut off the tape for 1 minute. I'm gonna have to go in there. I've been drunk 3 cups. If we have to even go to England, to that florist press, and tell them to order 10 copies of that book if they can't get it in America. Tell England to somehow call the damn book company and ask them to order 10 copies of that Emil Bach's Apocalypse, which is one of the best ones, the Apocalypse of St. John's, which is the best book ever written on Revelation, because he was a Rudolf Steiner follower also too, and he goes so much. Oh yeah, and he goes as much as I'm saying that the Mary and Jesus thing is cross culture and all, and he recognized Mary and Jesus as the same as Isis and Heru, or Isis and Horus. Huh? It's not on? Or is it still recording?
You got the mic on?
Is
you got the mic on? I think you got to change the bedroom.
Oh, okay.
That's not
Is it on there? I mean, mine has been on, but I'm saying, you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, you got it cut off yet? Where's Noah? What I'm saying is, you got to... Is it... Okay, you change the battery. You got that on, though? Like I said, if you're going to... It's imperative that you try to get that book, Apocalypse of St. John's, by Emil Bach, B-O-C-K. If you just call around, I'm quite sure you can get some people to order it. Florist Press out of London, England. Yes, they should. I'll call. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll call when I get home Tuesday. I will call New Leaf and see if they have it. I'll see if they have it and all, and see can you get it and all, and we'll deal with that type of thing. Now another thing is also we realize that in actuality that the Greeks couldn't have been black, the original Greeks, because the Greek language is such a great language, as well as the Latin language, until how can a white man who couldn't even speak from the caves and moaning and groaning, create a Greek language? Create a Greek language. Did you tape on? Mm-hmm. And all. So basically, we found out, and all, even A&E did it. Even though they didn't let people know, the original Greeks was the Etruscans. Now these Etruscans, they said, had a civilization that the women was equal to the men. So you know damn well, first of all, that couldn't have been nothing but a black person. You see what I'm saying? It couldn't have been the beast. Number two, they showed them they had that when they said, then they'll say lies like, well, these are the Etruscans. Now, first of all, they say the Etruscans is the earlier form of the Greek, and they said, but they had no known writing. But they showed the tombs of this elaborate artwork, and it had the same red tone as the Egyptians. So what this meant was that the Greek language was the form of writing that they had, as well as the Latin language. So when they say that they have no earlier forms of writing, if they went in there and they saw the Greek shit there, then they'll say, well, hey, these are the original Greeks. And that means that white people wouldn't be counted with a civilization at all, an ancient civilization. So they had to, so the Etruscans was these group of people that was killed off later on by the white Romans and the white Greeks. You see what I'm saying? So it's that same thing, just like the American Indians. You see, and so these Etruscans and all were the original black Greeks and black Romans. You see what I'm saying? And they were killed off later on by the culture that came in and took the language. You see what I'm saying? But Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, and all of those were Etruscans. They were black people. Because they said no white man ever entered the mystery system, in spite of what the basic Afrocentric scholars was doing, because they was taking the white man word on this particular thing. You see what I'm saying? They had a civilization, although it was a small civilization, that was just like Egypt. You see what I'm saying? It was just like Egypt at that particular time. You see, as we know, based on Hakim Bey, said to hell the Greeks, they didn't even have white statues until the 19th century. Oh no, yeah, the 19th century, the 1800s, where they went in and had a Renaissance period, and knocked out all the black statues and built white statues to try to fabricate a history that they didn't have, because they wanted to try to put themselves as an ancient people. You see what I'm saying? Although they were in ancient times when they took over, but they weren't the inventors and the creators of the actual civilization, and that's the difference. You see, that's the difference. The hostage takeover in Iran was a government project. You remember the Iranian thing? It was a government project because the Arabs at that particular time, they wanted to establish a new enemy, because they knew that the walls were going to be coming down in Germany and Russia and that whole 9 yards. So they had to establish a new enemy. So they started 10 years earlier with the Arab takeover, the hostage takeover, and ever since the doggone Iran, the Arabs have become the world terrorists based on Saddam Hussein and all of that type of thing. So all of that was actually basically a government plan. You see, they always need a boogeyman. They always need an enemy. They always need an enemy. Plus, you know, they're trying to fake this false Christ by coming from the east. So to try to somehow coincide with Nostradamus talking about this particular person coming from the east, they basically tried to make it this Arab. Nostradamus misconstrued it because it says a person from the east, and that particular person from the east that they're talking about is Heru, the Christ energy that was in the east from Egypt, from one Sphinx, is coming to the west. So there's actually talking about the flow of black people coming through the Middle Passage. And it might have looked like it was a Antichrist or a king of terror. He's a king of terror based on it's a king of terror on their behind. You see what I'm saying? Based on he's a king of terror on their behind. So this was the whole thing, and they started it and set it all up in 1980. From 1980, so we cool? Yeah, they started and set it up from 1980 with this whole hostage takeover and all. You see, the problem is the reason why we can't really hope, and, you know, we still got black people, even in consciousness, hoping that somehow we can get back on top of the world in the physical. But the problem is just like this. That once the people lose their spiritual connection and their basic survival mechanisms is wiped out totally, you're talking about a people that can never actually gain it back. Not unless they go like the white man and kill everybody in the world and steal it, but that's not our nature anyway. So therefore it means in actuality it's not meant to gain back on this level, it is to go to the next level because we have outdone this level. You see what I'm saying? We've outdone this particular level. And so this is a key that everybody's doing right now, whereas even when people come and all, and it's one thing we're doing when it comes to some metaphysical things, people say, well, I want to know how I can access this and access that so they can somehow have power like a Superman on the physical. Your accessing of some things is you got to realize your whole race is dependent on you, and by your race depending on you, in order to get them out, this is not a selfish thing on how you can have more power than anybody. Your race is dependent on you to redeem them, and the redeemer or the redemption of those particular people is going by you ending this damn thing and ending this cruel world. So now you got a lot of people that's trying to tap into their melanin powers, for the simple fact that they want to have certain amount of powers to go along in the physical, like there's some kind of Superman walking around having power over everybody. And that's not what it is. This is the redeeming to go to the metamorphosis and the next stage. You see what I'm saying? The old jail trial, welfare, affirmative action, crack, gangs are all smoke screens and all to smoke screens to get you away from what's going on when it comes to this particular body snatching, as far as the King Alpha Clan and these concentration camps. All smoke screens. And you see, and the smoke screens are not to let you know, to not let you realize that the King Alpha Clan has been in effect. So the black race is the only race that have a wide color of the spectrum, and basically we got every color in the spectrum of what our people look like as far as our depiction, as far as from the blackest of the black until we even got them damn near white, and you got to look hard. But that lets you know that we got to be crazy when mugs go and get a damn white woman. Well, hell, where you going to get a white woman for? We got enough sisters that look damn near half white. Why not get one of them? You see, that lets you know that this is a sick mentality that they actually have at this particular time, and all. So we just warming up, doing some hard copy. By 1975, the protest had started going out of black music. So you had the protest music, Money, 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 and all the OJs and different things and stuff that happened in the early 60s. By 1975, the protest started going out, and they started disco. And mind you me that this would happen after the ascension of Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 1975. Now remember, your whole, your entire, what's the name of the group? The Jehovah's Witness, who was just as big as the Catholic Church at one time, was broke after 1975, because after 1975 they had said for years, for 70 years, that the world would end in 1975. So after the world ended in 1975, they never could bounce back, and they never were the same after that. Never were the same after that. It was the same year, you see what I'm saying, it was the same year, and then talking about the Jehovah's Witness and stuff, there's a good book you need to get called The Eve of Destruction. The Eve of Destruction by Eva Shaw. Eve of Destruction by Eva Shaw. You can find it at Barnes & Noble's, Borders, and even stores like B. Dalton's and all of those particular ones have it also. Eve of Destruction. And what she did is, it's another type of book where she went and took a lot of prophecies around the world, those that didn't work and those who did work. Very good book. But one of the best books ever written on prophecy, where you have every prophecy damn near recorded in the world, is a little small book called A.T. Mann's book, Millennium Prophecies 2000, which is a valuable book and a must-read. A.T. Mann, M-A-N-N, Millennium Prophecies 2000. It was a bigger, thicker book from England, but then they condensed it and put it in a smaller version of the book with the same amount of pages. And in that particular, we even have a timeline of certain events that went on at certain time from a couple of thousand years on up until now. 18-man Millennium Prophecies. But another good book is the Eva Shaw book. And she goes through the different groups like Elizabeth Clare Prophets group, as well as other groups that actually had also dealt with certain prophecies. She also deals with the Lababa witches and their prophecy based on the Jupiter effect, the thing that happened in 1994 on July 16th of 1994 when it's supposed to be this comet hit Jupiter and different things and all. So those are also some good books also too. So they're going on along with it. Like I said before, the Million Man March was nothing but a great government registration program. You see what I'm saying? A great registration program. Also remind you, those people, that you still need to go and pick up the movie Warlock 1 and Warlock 2. Very good movie also. Another Christ movie is Willow. Willow, talking about the Christ child. Willow. You see what I'm saying? A real Christ movie. For those people that are still scared of the devil, moving right along, you need to get Jeffrey Burton Russell's book. Jeffrey Burton Russell's book, The Devil. Jeffrey Burton Russell's book on the devil, and it shows you how the horns from the devil came from Hathor, and also Ra, and the Greek god Pan, in which they took this thing from. So Jeffrey Burton Russell's book, he has one on the Antichrist, but the one you want to get is the devil and the devil's role through later and throughout antiquity. But it's a black book with red writing, the devil. Jeffrey Burton Russell is his particular name. Jeffrey Burton Russell. Also, to find out that the devil means double, doppelganger, which is talking about dual self or double, you understand that that's also talking about melanin. A good chapter on the devil actually being the shadow. You see, seeing your shadow or the spook and all this type of thing, and based on the melanin is to get the book from Gerald Massey's lectures. Gerald Massey's lectures. There's a chapter called Devil of Darkness in the Light of Evolution or something like that. And in Gerald Massey's lectures, he literally showed it that the devil was just the first aspect of the black man when he first saw his shadow, or it's actually talking metaphysical. The double self, dual one. The dual one and all. You see, also to understand some other good things on the devil, to understand, to get you out of this spookism, you need to get, which is a must-read, you need to get this just for library purposes anyway. Everybody should have a copy of Blavatsky's Secret Doctrines. ISIS Unveiled and Secret Doctrine, but at least get the Secret Doctrines. There's a whole chapter in there called, there's a whole chapter in the Secret Doctrines called the Fourth Root Race. And they also talk about the devil in there, and there's another chapter that talks about, and the devil basically is just known as a double one, the one who has a double self, which is the black man. And in there they also talk about, there's a chapter in there called No Shadow, No God, which means no melanin, no God. No melanin, no God, and all. There's also chapters up in there talking about each man will be allotted his own time to not necessarily rule like the white man, but he have his own day in the sun, basically, to rule on even his own destiny or whatever. And all of it would be connected, or all of it would be lengthened based on a circuit of a great year. So each person will have a time, you see, to rule his own destiny or whatever based on a great year. But basically, then the final great year, which is our great year, the final great year would be that we would, the original people would take back the earth. And basically in dealing with that and all, it's just like Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, as well as also the Sirius mystery, that the gods would write 26,000 years of history. And after 26,000 years of history, they'd have to write a new book. So basically all the books and all of the stuff we have now is the stuff that happened within the last 26,000 years, which is our sun goes around a greater sun every 26,000 years, which is called a great year. You get your Sirius mystery, which is also a Bible, which is also the black man's Bible, is the Sirius mystery. Also, because it also talks about another Christ story, is Jason and the Argonauts. which is you get the 1963 movie Jason and the Argonauts that later on inspired the 1981 movie Clash of the Titans with Perseus. All this is about the Christ and the steps you have to go through, and Perseus had to go through certain steps to rise, and what did he do? He fought the dragon, and he killed the dragon at the end, the Kraken. But he had to go get the Medusa, and the Medusa hypnotized the dragon. Well, the Medusa has dreadlocks, and the rays that shot out her eyes is the rays based on the energy coming from melanin. So the Medusa was an Egyptian goddess, an Egyptian queen. And the snakes is nothing but the dreadlocks. And when he held it up and all, and it shot, the rays that shoot out the Medusa eyes is that the rays of the actual penetrating stairs from melanin. You know, all of this is in, you know, like I say, Clash of the Titans. Also, like I said, the Excalibur movie, 1981 also. Excalibur talking about the Holy Grail, which is also talking about melanin. The cup that holds the blood of the blood of Christ, or the blood of the Great Mother, which is talking about melanin. That's the real blood. You see, the real blood also. But the Jason and the Argonauts and stuff, and Jason, they talk about him having a sacred boat. That's nothing but the mothership. Also, that mothership, the sacred boat or the sacred disc, also because he has a shield. Also, that's talking about the disc. Is talking about the black dot. Perseus has a shield. Perseus has a shield. That's the black dot. He has a sword. That's also the Kundalini energy that shoots out your mouth. Perseus also has the white horse Pegasus, and the white horse Pegasus is a symbol of the Christ, and that's when you grow wings. All these are symbols of your energy. Owl came to him and our little owl, and nobody could understand it but him. The owl represented melanin. The wise one, wise owl. Owl being a symbol for melanin, you see. Being a symbol for melanin. The moon being a symbol for melanin, or Sirius B. The lunar form and all. So these are different things that is going on in these particular movies. That's talking about a role of your body, and a role that your body goes to certain levels in this ongoing drama. And the Greek drama and all the dramas that they're talking about is you.
And the golden fleece.
And the golden fleece. Well, hell, that's the golden fleece. If you know and it said, you know, also if you notice the golden fleece, it was basically the way it was in a tree. And the tree is your body. And the golden fleece is also the crown chakra also. Also the crown chakra. You see, all of that, you see, that's dealing with us. And so we used to teach our children these things to get the metaphysical story through mythology, because mythology is actually physics. You see, is actually physics and all. So one thing is happening also is the civil war in Africa is also black people. When you have this civil war in Africa that the demiurge is also doing is they want to kill off so many people in Africa, and they ask where the people went in Africa, because over half of the continent of Africa is now dead. They don't tell you that, because most people, because Africa is not the type of place that is a mobile place that you can even check out for yourself and see who's living or whatever type thing. Because like I say, you can go down 30 miles down the street and be in another damn country and have to take a damn plane just to get to that part of the country, because they don't carve roads and all. So they got it like a